Donc on reprend la séance et je demande au secrétaire général d'introduire le sujet ou de présenter le reste de notre programme pour cet après-midi.
Merci, Madame la Présidente. Le prochain point à l'ordre du jour est la présentation du rapport d'activité du Parlement panafricain, présentation qui sera faite par le président du PAP.
On demande donc à son Excellence très honorable Fortune Charumbira de présenter son rapport d'action. Merci, Monsieur le Président. Vous avez la parole.
I join you in clapping in response to your kind welcome for me on this podium. Good afternoon, honorable members. Once more, I want to thank you for your resilience, honesty to duty, and commitment to duty. I'm going to present a performance report. And this report is 22 pages. I will not read every sentence to save you from time and boredom. Whatever the quality of a report, but when it goes for 22 pages, something else. And also, we are moving well in terms of time. We are likely to close this afternoon or evening, but today. Let me preface my report with a quotation from the late American religious leader and author, Thomas Monson, who said, "When performance is measured, performance improves. When performance is measured and reported, the rate of improvement accelerates." So we are reporting performance in order to see that are we moving well. Like I say, I will not go through everything, otherwise we will unnecessarily take too long. The Bureau of the Parliament, in liaison with the bureaucracies, and it set out the Pan-African Parliament 2023 corporate goals during the joint planning meeting. These corporate goals are aligned with Agenda 2063 and the 2019 to 2023 Pan-African Parliament Strategic Plan. The corporate goals include, among others, as we try to measure ourselves, one, transforming the Pan-African Parliament to make it more effective and functional in the fulfillment of its mandate. Mainstreaming the voices of the African people into its business processes. Strengthening the role of the Pan-African Parliament in the continental governance matrix. Formulation of model laws. Institutional arrangements to support coordination, partnerships, and participation in parliamentary initiatives. To deepening advocacy around the African Union theme of 2023, which is Year of the AfCFTA, acceleration of the AfCFTA implementation, and improving coordination, collaboration, alignment, and synergy building with other African Union organs. This is what we set ourselves as a parliament to achieve. So these will collectively form the basis of the Pan-African Parliament operations throughout the year 2023. So this performance report is presented pursuant to the provisions of Article 3 of the Protocol, the treaty establishing the Pan-African establishing the African Economic Community relating to the Pan-African Parliament, the SAIT protocol. And Rule 16 of the rules of the procedures of Pan-African Parliament also reflects the same. That shows what Parliament should do, and the permanent committees and the Secretariat of this Parliament should be working on. So the objective of this report is to bring to the attention of this August chamber the activities undertaken and the outputs achieved since January 2023. Honorable members, it is important to recall that the outputs are anchored on the 4 thematic objectives of the Pan-African Parliament 2019 to 2023 strategic plan detailed below. And those are strengthening parliamentary functions of the Pan-African Parliament, strengthening partnerships, coordination, outreach, and institutional capacity of the Pan-African Parliament, promoting the Pan-African Parliament's support of human rights and the social inclusion goals of the African Union, and strengthening learning and sharing knowledge management, communication, and advocacy of the Pan-African Parliament. So, summary of our achievements. In fulfilling the fulfillment of the strategic objectives on strengthening parliamentary functions of the Pan-African Parliament, the following activities and programs were executed. A, the participation of the Pan-African Parliament in the meetings and the summits of the policy organs of the African Union. This improved the relationship between the Pan-African Parliament and the AU organs and enhanced the relevance of PAP within the African Union architecture, in addition to providing a platform to make a case for increased budgetary allocations. B, the participation of the Pan-African Parliament in the 146th Inter-Parliamentary Union and the 5th Congress of Speakers of Arab Councils and the Parliaments enhanced the visibility and revitalized the role of the Parliament in international parliamentary diplomacy. Thirdly, the Pan-African Parliament participated in several fora. It is important to report that the permanent committees met from 6 to 17 March, and members deliberated comprehensively on the African theme of the year, accelerating the African Continental Free Trade Area implementation. Strategic Objective 2, which is strengthening partnerships, coordination, outreach, and the institutional capacity of the Pan-African Parliament. The Pan-African Parliament renewed and enhanced collaboration with several regional and international bodies. Key among these are the following: participating in the 17th session of the Conference of the Parliamentary Union of Member States and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, which led to the renewal of the Pan-African Parliament collaboration with international stakeholders. Pan-African Parliament's official visit to the People's Democratic Republic of Algeria and the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. Strengthening cooperation between Pan-African Parliament and the Saudi Parliament, Saudi Arabian Parliament. Working visit of the African Union Commission, the African Union Commission Deputy Chairperson to the PAP, and the Pan-African Parliament working visit to the Republic of Kenya. The strategic objective number 3, Pan-African Parliament contributed to the promotion and support of human rights and the social inclusion goals of the African Union through the participating in the election observer missions to Nigeria and of course to other countries, and now we are in Guinea. Additionally, the Pan-African Parliament observed International Women's Day. This has been mentioned, of course, in other reports. Pan-African Parliament convened a side event on the issue of status of women, and this again has been mentioned by other reports. Strengthening learning and sharing knowledge, media engagement with the African Union, commemorating the Pan-African Parliament Day, and participating in the African Union Model Summit. This one, I went to the University of Johannesburg and interacted with students. I addressed them, among other speakers. Collaboration between PAP and the FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization, with regard to food security. That, I think, 3 or 4 meetings have been organized. So the issue of mainstreaming the voices of the African people in parliamentary activities created awareness and citizenry input into our decisions, strengthening institutional capacity and energy. The key challenges faced by PAP in the implementation of the strategic objectives include the issues of inadequacy of human resources, financial, and the issue of the delay in the recruitment of staff and the lack of incentives for members of parliament to work motivated, and poor attendance of sessions by members. I want to say that I think we are now planning, and the Bureau will soon be discussing the issue of attendance for the future. We are going to record as we go forward from August or September. We should have a record of attendance of every member. When they come in, they go out, which day they came to PAP, which day they left. For planning purposes. So a report will be compiled where each member is shown, for each member, the attendance pattern. And we can't have a parliament where people do as they like. It can't work. It can't work. Yes. Like now, some people came somewhere, no money, fine, good excuse. It also makes that parliament to see that our members attended for 4 days, but these other members attended for 21 days. So then you expose yourself as a country that you are doing a disservice. So it's good information even to your speaker, and to talk to the president before I arrived, and then when I arrived, we went together to State House. And indeed, you saw President William Ruto in this chamber because of good work done by this team. We thank you, we thank you. So the president came here. As per culture, we meet all the ambassadors, African ambassadors. They come to PAP before we have a session and agree on all programs. Like I say, we sent an observer mission to Nigeria. Unfortunately, the numbers are deplorable because they say there's no budget. And right, I'm skipping some of these things. I don't take too much time. Media engagement, no. Food security, no. Let me move to issues inside. Right, I'll start with recruitment. Recruitment. You are aware that when the new PAP was launched on the 29th of June, 2022, we had no clerk of parliament in office, no deputy clerk, finance and administration, and the whole list was 22. We then started off and say, look, we want all these 22 in place, in office, by end of July. Then we were told to advertise, although the policy of the AU says each organ shall recruit its own staff. They say, fine, you recruit, but as an AU, we also have guidelines that you have to respect. Recruit, but there are guidelines. And one of the guidelines is the issue of merit qualification-based recruitment. So what does it mean? It means advertisements are done by the African Union, not by each organ. We contested that naturally, that's unfair, but unfortunately, salaries are paid from Addis, not from here. So, okay, we send them 22 job profiles. Hello, please, Madam President, protect me from those people there. Madam President, protect me from those people, those Labour members there.
It is out of order that they speak on the phone
They are
whilst
speaking
the
on the
session is
phone.
on. Is that
They
what
are
they
there,
do in their
yeah.
parliaments? That's ridiculous.
Why can't they go outside and consult? Right, my story is recruitment. You advertise through the AU, they have a system, what they call AU portal. And I'm explaining these things for the future so that after this afternoon, you also know if you have people from your countries that you want to join Pan-African Parliament. That is the procedure. That the advertisement is by the AU, and people apply to through the AU portal and some IT system. When they've applied, but in this case, it took July, no advertisement, August, no advertisement. Sometime in September, a bit later, around the 24th, from 1 July, advertisement only appeared in September 24, no advertisement in September. And when they advertised, out of 22, they advertised only 10. The other 12 are out. Okay, we had problems, we wrote to them, this is unfair, you can't do this. So, around the 24th of October, it was possible that we proceed with interviews. Since the advert was closing, I think on the 24th, well, then we said to ourselves, by the 26th, we shortlist. Before end of October, we go for interview. Before the session ended in 2022 November, we recommended the interview conducted and the clerk is appointed. Now, when we moved to the second, give us CVs of those who applied. AU said, no, we don't give you CVs. We do what is called a pre-screening. Pre-screening. You said, no, but now you are shortlisting on our behalf. What is that? They say the computer system into which they apply, in itself, when they apply, it screens. They call it long listing. It removes some names. Said, no, you can't do that. We want all the names. We kept writing to the deputy chair of the commission. We want all the CVs. We even alleged potential corruption. You want to take out some people? Say, no, okay, fine. Give us the CVs. Then they told us out of the 356 for clerk, 22, we are giving you 22 CVs. I said, but where are the rest? More than 300. They say, unfortunately, the system only releases certain CVs, not everybody. It screens on the basis of qualification. If you're not qualified, throws you out. Qualification, experience, and another major issue, what they call quota system. So if you are outside the quota, you are out. What is quota? What I mean by quota, they say all the 55 countries in the union, the clerk is grade D1. If you come from Kenya, you've applied. But within the AU system, there is someone from Kenya already working for the AU who is that same grade D1. You are removed, you are out. Because we cannot have two from the same country. And they had a list. And the clerk can help me get that list. Or whoever is near here can rush to the director of the bureau and say, can you have that list? Among the ushers, someone should rush to the director of the bureau to give a list of quota. Let's say quota at AU. I don't see anyone moving. Eh? Right. It should be helpful sometimes to read the countries which they said these don't qualify. So you may have someone that you thought was a good candidate for clerk, but they removed, that machine just removes. So they say you have 22. We made nice. That was in October, November. We went to the AU and protested to the deputy chairperson of the commission. But they were stuck. He said, there's no other way in the AU. You only get those 22 CVs. We won't show you those that failed. We delayed the recruitment because we were fighting, saying, no, we can't. Eventually, we would ask other organs. They find that the other organs had followed that system. But they also say it's a bad system. So if they okay, give us CVs, I think it is now around March, April. CVs those that 22. They say, oh, between October and April, March, because of the delay, some countries or candidates who were qualified to be on the 22, their countries now are out also. So we have 6 only CVs. Again, we were shocked. How can you give us CVs and want to shortlist from 6? Because when you can shortlist about 8. Again, we were stuck. It meant that we would go without a clerk maybe for 2 or 3 years. Then we said, okay, give us the 6, otherwise this thing will not end. We got the 6 shortlisted and got 4 out of the 6. We interviewed for clerk. I think you heard this week, Monday, yesterday. And the interview, then we said regional chairpersons come into the interview so that it looks transparent for everybody. So we invited the regional chairpersons. But there was a condition for anyone to participate in the interview, that you had to be trained first on this merit-based system. You had to be trained. So president of PAP, go into training. Bureau, go into training first. Everyone should go into training. Otherwise, you can't participate even in the interviews. Then they say, look. Oh, we agreed. We had no option. We were all trained as a bureau. So we had the interviews, and with the assistance of the AU, they sent somebody here in the panel, although the AU person was not scoring. Then we had Ernst & Young, consult Nairobi. Ernst & Young in Nairobi, they were operating from Nairobi. We did the interview together, both the oral, there was a group interview, a group and an individual. And I'm proud and happy to say we have come up with a choice of a clerk whom we believe will deliver. Yes. There are naturally 3 names. 3 names, first, second, and third. I want to remind this plenary that in November, on the date is what? The date is 12 November, during the session. you as a plenary mandated the Bureau to say, look, this requirement of coming to the plenary to present the names of clerk and deputy clerk may take time, because that time we thought we may conclude interviews by December. Then you said, please go back, do the interviews, and if you go to the Hansard, Bureau was mandated to recruit, appoint. The Bureau should recruit, appoint, and report, and appoint means that by the time you come, there will be a clerk seated and having a signed contract. We couldn't find one until yesterday. So we have 3, and we are recommending the number 1, the one who was number 1. The now was number 1. Number 1 is called Lindiwe Kumalo. Number 2 is called Dr. Diallo. The other one may be difficult. And number 3 is Mr. Sid Ali. Of the 3, the first candidate got 92, the second got 80, and the third got 72. And we are recommending as Bureau, the first candidate, who at the moment is the head of the Banjul Commission. If you know the Banjul Commission, the Commission on Human Rights, Human and People's Rights. So she's already working like within the AU system. She has been in the system for some time and is a top lawyer, is an advocate, and we highly recommend that candidate to you, Lindiwe Kumalo. We are recommending Lindiwe Kumalo, who got 92 to the plenary. You are quiet. Should we withdraw the name? A female, for the first time, PAP clerk. For the first time, the clerk, since 2004, for almost 20 years, we've never had a female clerk at PAP. A female who of a very high competency, and I tell you, will not let us down. So I just want to have a formal endorsement now. You wanted to know that you're a female. Any objection, we start from there. Any objection to that clerk? No objection. Those who say yes, can you clap your hands? So agreed by consensus. We now have a clerk. Now, yes, this is called the consensus. They are not here, unfortunately. They flew back. They were all busy flying back. They are all out of town. Sorry? Sorry?
Yeah.
Can you maybe speak so that we benefit all?
From your communication, Mr. President, you stated that the Parliament passed a resolution to allow the Bureau of the Pan-African Parliament to recruit and appoint the clerk of the Pan-African Parliament. And therefore, the decision was already made. We are here only to endorse the decision that were made and your presentation. I do want to move that the Parliament, Pan-African Parliament today, having heard from the President the qualities and the capabilities of the clerk to be recruited, and having had the due process that have been followed in the selection of the Pan-African, the clerk to the Pan-African Parliament, I beg to move that is how do adopt the resolution by the Bureau of the Pan-African Parliament to appoint the new clerk.
That was a proposal. Seconder, I'll take it to Egypt. Sorry, I'll take it to Egypt.
Okay. So thank you very much, Mr. President. Actually, we are very happy as women at the Parliament that now we have the first Vice President as a woman. We have the Clerk for the first time since 20 years is a woman. So now I'm happy that we are in a gender committee, and I think most of the women are more appreciated in this Parliament. Thank you very much, and I'm sure that the new Clerk will do a good job. Thank you very much.
You also say you second.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Not I am.
No, not second.
Stand up
No.
and formally say you second.
I second.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I approve.
Thank you. Yes, question. Although it's not allowed when the motion has been seconded, but just being overly democratic.
Out. Okay, thank you. Yes, Mr. President, we are learning that these interviews were only conducted the past few days. So I was wondering, even as we are endorsing the candidate, our preferred candidate, whether those formalities of them accepting, looking at the terms and conditions, has that process as well been concluded so that we are sure we are endorsing a person who has accepted the job offer? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me respond to that one first. Can I respond? Yes. All the formalities of acceptance, police clearance, references, certificates, those have been complied with. Thank you. Honorable Barkat.
Merci, Monsieur le Président.
For Clerk. Go proceed.
Yes, merci, Monsieur le Président. Je m'attendais à ce que, au moins, on nous donne, même si c'est les Africains qu'on recrute, je le sais, mais donnez-nous le nom des villages de ces trois candidats. Merci. Des pays, oui, c'est un village. Non?
Ah, sorry, Honorable Azadine. Sorry, I think the interpreter, you are using a wrong word, I believe, because you are saying the villages.
Non, je disais, je le répète, je disais, bon, le continent c'est un pays. Le continent c'est un pays. Maintenant, le reste, l'Afrique du Sud, Djibouti, la Côte d'Ivoire, c'est des villages. Donc, dites-nous de quel pays elle est. Merci. Ils sont les trois candidats.
From South Africa. And then the second one was from Mali. The third one was from Sahrawi. There were someone from Lesotho and others who did not make it. Just for you to be satisfied again with this issue, I just got the list of countries which were disqualified from submitting a clerk. Yes, I don't make a mistake. Yes. Nigeria, South Sudan, I don't know whether this is true, Congo, Togo, Eritrea, which country, Djibouti. Here it is all red. Ethiopia, Sudan, Kenya, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Congo DRC. No, Congo DRC was okay. But Cameroon, Zambia, Uganda, Gabon, Botswana, Senegal, Zimbabwe, Chad. And then these are blocked. Benin, Rwanda, Malawi, Sierra Leone, Mauritania, the Gambia. I think that's the end, I think. Yes. So they will say these countries they are shaded red. They have met their quota within the AU, so we cannot have candidates from these countries. That's how they operate.
Thank you, our President. I wanted to ask one question.
Yes.
How come when they are doing advertisement, they are doing it in AU, but the interviews are done here in PAP? Why can't we advertise here in PAP and do the interviews here? And why was Kenya disqualified? Thank you.
Okay. I'll start with the last one. That's what they just give us these things. They say Kenya disqualified because within the AU system, all the organs, not in Addis only, whether in Banjul Commission, whether in Egypt, where there is a person from Kenya who occupies a position D1. That's how they disqualify across the continent. So someone can be working for the APRIM, for example, here in South Africa, or NEPAD, a Kenyan in NEPAD, or in Africa Continental Free Trade Area in Accra. Then they disqualify. It's the whole community of the continent. So that's where we are. The position of Deputy Clerk, Finance and Administration will be advertised. Again, it's true, they might have said by next week, for example. But again, we send it to them, and then they take their time. But we'll make sure that as these positions are advertised, of course, they are on the PAP website. That's one. I think last time we said, please let us send emails to OMPs once there's an advertisement. OMPs should know. And then there are those who say, in this PAP of my region or our region doesn't have, or my country, first of all, you have to apply. If your citizens from a country don't apply, you will never have anyone in PAP. And if I were you, my strategy is to apply for any post. Everything that comes, encourage your people, 10 or 15 on one position, all of you apply. In the end, you may get something. So let us apply. And we see the quota is across the union. It doesn't consider within PAP how many countries here are represented. Since we conduct interviews at the level of deputy this, deputy that, assistant this, if your people apply and they come close, very close in results with someone who comes from a country that already have staff at PAP, I think the consideration is better give that candidate coming from a country which does not have anybody at PAP. Such things will be considered, but it is only considered if your people are applying and performing at least to that level where even sympathy can be reasonable. That's important. And I think we need to close today. I think that is I can end here and then respond to, for this is of budget, I can't repeat. We have heard about budget problems. We have heard about allowances for MPs, the issue of medical insurance or assurance, shortage of staff. I think these we are all aware. We are working on them. So let me end here and give room for debate. Thank you.